wish I knew how unbelievably tiring, absolutely exhausting Freshers Week would be. It's my third year now, my second year, I still wasn't ready for it. It is just absolutely knackering. By the end of it, you're checking people in, and then you're going out at night. Got a week of training before that. It's not pleasant, but it's lots of fun.
The hours you want to work every week, that can vary from sort of the minimum office hours plus 1 or 2 events to hosting a bigger event, or Freshers Week or Refreshers Week, which are almost every day there's something going on. And that's a lot of days and a lot more time. It's good to get to know the RLC, the coordinator who's going to be looking after your house. Sometimes everything that you do won't be appreciated by every student. You have to kind of learn that even if you're not getting constant feedback that is good, you're not doing a bad job necessarily.
Freshers Week is a key week in your RE experience. It can make everything easier and better for the rest of the year, or it can make it more difficult. If you want to have the best RE experience, I would advise you try to get to know all of them during Freshers Week. Remember their names. Don't be shy to ask them, even multiple times in a day, what's their names, what are they like, and try to have a very personal contact with each of them. Some will be shyer, some will be much more open and come to you, tell you what they think, everything they need. Those are not the ones you have to care the most about. Try to get to know the shy ones as well, even if it's a bit harder, but it's really worth it. So just try to know maybe facts about them, what they like, what they're studying. And it's also a good way to find people with common interests and match them together.
If I had to give advice to the new RAs, it would be get on top of your work right away. And by that I mean get to know your residents as well as you can at the start of the year. It can't be overstated how much benefit you get out of getting to know them. Because then you don't have to chase them down later. They know who you are. They'll come to your events, especially if you take advantage of figuring out who the cool kids are in every group and make them your friends, and then people will come to your events. They'll respect you more, things like that.
Really strike hard at the start of getting people to come to events and setting yourself up as the sort of person who they're going to respect and look up to. Get people coming to events in the first week when they arrive. Don't bombard them, because there's an element of people arriving and wanting to just get their head clear. But also, you need to set up a sort of an idea of what's to come in the first week, so they'll want to come to events. They'll get to know people immediately in the first week. I mean, don't wait until weeks 3 and 4 to start doing events in the house.
Be there for them. You are the very first contact they have at university outside their classes, which might be very big. In first year you have huge classes, very little individuality. They might feel one amongst crowds, so you are there to make them feel like they're special. Each of them has the reason to be there, and they're all as valuable as the others, because it's a big transition from school to university, living with the family to living alone. Maybe some don't know anyone, or also moving from country, so it's very difficult at the beginning. So having some reference person to be there for them, they're not going to forget you ever. Every time they remember the university experience, you'll be there in their memories, and I think that's something amazing.
Get to know somebody in the first week is difficult, but introduce yourself to them so they know who you are. They know that you're there for them to go to in the first week when they have problems, because that's when it's going to be most vulnerable, I suppose.
So I think one of the parts of the job, I think the hardest part to balance, at least for me, is the fact that one of your main responsibilities is kind of being very social with your residents, organizing events that they want to come to, making sure they're having fun, and stuff like that. But at the same time, you're working with them in an official capacity, and you are someone that they're going to turn to make sure that there's not noise complaints on site, that everyone's getting along okay. And sometimes those two things can conflict with each other a little bit. And that part can be difficult to manage, so I think it's important to be mindful of the fact that even though you're there to be like a cool person for them to meet, you're also there to make sure that no one's being too cool in a sense, no one's being too loud or disrespectful or anything like that, and that part can be tough.
Just waiting for the ones you love to come around. He's digging up concrete while everybody sleeps, filling in the cracks on these lonely streets.
I would say don't worry. Whenever you get here, especially if you're new and you've never been in Edinburgh before, if you're a PGRA, then it can be a little scary looking at that schedule, not knowing where places are, but you're going to be surrounded by people, undergraduates who've been here before, who know where the locations are, who can help you out. You might be positioned with a returner PGRA who is obviously going to be able to tell you where to go, what to do, and give you advice on getting things for your flat. So don't worry, just ask people if you have questions.
Sometimes you won't have the proper background or formation to do everything on your own. You'll need support as well. Don't worry, don't be afraid, that's also part of the job. We're not gods, we can't do everything, but at least you've made that difference. Whatever you've tried, it has made a difference. Even if it ends up with a student dropping out or anything, you've even helped in that kind of failure you can think. No, it's not a failure because it's even better than if they were alone. At least you've been there for them.
For RAs who are worried about what the job is going to be like, don't worry. As we'll say in training, you're never alone, and that's really true. The vast majority of you will be on a team with other RAs. You can lean on them for support when you're having problems with things, and of course you're not actually required to be Superman in any sense of the word, so you will run up against difficult situations, but you can always talk to your line manager or your wardens or whatever you have at the site you're at, and they can always help you with those situations. You're never going to be left alone to deal with something that's really difficult.
There's no right way of doing it. There are probably some wrong ways of doing it, but there's no dead set script of how to be an RA. It's about sort of playing to your strengths, but also not sticking rigidly to those, but getting other people to share their interests. So if there's an event that you can't host personally, get someone else to do it. Delegate that to a resident who wants to host that event. So this one girl has don't say her name obviously, but she's got a real interest in 80s culture, so she was able to host a really interesting 80s night that I knew nothing really in detail about. So I helped her along the event. I told her to help set up the Facebook event, took pictures for it, let her use parts of the budget to fund it, and that was a really successful night, and she got experience hosting an event.
I would tell them, prepare yourself with the information that you've been given. You have a handbook, you have everything that's on the RAE induction. That is going to tell you most of what you need to know, and the rest you're going to learn along the way. So don't worry, just prepare yourself, get ready, and you're going to have fun.
Don't you worry, honey, it will be okay. 'Cause one of these days we're gonna fly away. And he said there's only one Saturday night.
Well, the RA role does take up a fair amount of time whenever you're planning events. So whenever you're planning your events, you also have to plan how much time you're going to spend doing your work. In that sense, whenever I haven't really planned on what I was going to do with my day, when I had an event as well to organize, it's been a problem for my academics because I've been scrambling at the end of the day going, oh God, I need to get this paper finished. But you learn really quickly. So in that sense, the way that it's affected my academics is it's made me plan out what I'm going to do and when I'm going to do it more. So it's kind of helped a little bit.
So it's something that's gonna take you time to get used to, but you'll quickly learn to get better at time managing because you have no choice actually. You'll have to. And you'll see you'll have support. Usually you are in teams with more experienced RAs and new RAs, so there is always support available for you. And then also through this RA job I felt much more involved in the university experience. I felt like I was really part of the university and providing a service, helping new students like me 3 years ago to have the experience of their lives, and especially as well to exchange students who were coming here only visiting for a year or half a year, get them involved and part of the community quicker so they really could enjoy their experience. So it's really a very rewarding feeling, and it feels like you are a representative of this great university that's the University of Edinburgh.
Really divided your time, and that actually helped me in my academics as well as being an RA. And if you just put a couple of hours aside every day to answer all the RA emails, reply to the paperwork, to refer to the RA manual or whatever, all these different kind of resources that you do have, everything is contained in there, and everything that you need to carry out you already have. You just need to sort of let it happen. Your ability to communicate with sort of different people, and that carries over really well into university degree courses, which is sort of academic, but I consider that social as well because there's a lot of interaction in the degree that I do chemistry, and there's a lot of lab work in groups and research projects with other people, sometimes strangers from different universities or different countries, having this job, which is a job. I'm employed and I communicate on a professional level with everybody I'm involved with. That's really going to help when I move into sort of the working marketplace. And it's a great bonus to have a big organisation with a reputation that I'm working for ResLife that can give me a reference.
The RA role has been fantastic for my social life, really, because especially for my PG program, we were a really small group. We didn't have any core classes that were really together for the first semester. So a lot of the friends that I made and a lot of the social life that I developed was with people that were residents in my flats. So I have a very solid group of friends right now that I kind of get to say hi to and chat with every day because they live right there with me. So it has built my social life, which is really exciting because whenever you get into a position like this, you think, oh, I have to be the supervisor of these people. Nobody's going to want to socialize with me, and it's a completely different environment. It's very friendly. It's very fun, and you develop a lot of friendships and relationships from that.
You get to meet all your residents, and a lot of them become friends just naturally, automatically. There's some people who you gel with personally better than others. Some people use you as a resource, some people see you as a friend, some people just see you as an authority figure. But you kind of, in any situation where there are other people, friendships do develop just naturally, and you get closer to other people than you do. And that really enhances your social life and your social experience. And these are friends that you make, which will stick with you for a long time. And that trust that builds up is really, really useful, because then you can carry out your job to an even better degree.
One of the main ways it will help you grow, though, socially, is that not only will you meet people you like, you'll meet lots of people that you don't like and you don't really get along with. And probably the best skill that you'll pick up from being an RA is learning how to work with or manage people that you don't get along with. There's a reasonable chance you'll end up with someone on your team that you don't have a great personality match with, and this is like really crucial skill in everything you'll do after this. You will never be in a workplace that you get along perfectly with everyone. So it's really good, especially when you're dealing with students that you just don't mesh well with. Learning how to work with that is really valuable.
We were all walking down
going to sound a little weird, has been the fact that it's kind of a way to escape from my work sometimes, especially whenever I'm planning events that I really enjoy. Like this month, I'm having a yoga event where I just sit back for 20 minutes and get with one of my residents and teach them yoga for about 20 minutes. And it is so relaxing and it is so worthwhile to do, and I just get that moment away from my work, and that happens whenever I get to plan the events, and that happens whenever I get to carry out the events. So I plan events with Alex that we both like, that we both enjoy, and basically because we both enjoy it, our residents enjoy it as well.
You don't really feel like a parent or something. You're a fellow to the students. You just have to be their role model. So you really have a high responsibility, but it's really enriching because you see how you can really make an impact on their lives. They're not as different than you. You just have 3 more or 2 more years of experience at uni, and with that you can give them the best advice and help them take the right path. So for me, it's really one of the best jobs you can ever have. And they help you grow. Not they won't only help the students, but as well you're gonna learn a lot about yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, and it's a unique experience that's gonna help you through life forever.
Hi, I'm Alan. That's my name. Yep. This is going to be a sweet RA induction video. All the new people and the returners will get to laugh at me for being in it. It'll be great.
He's a bona fide rebel searching
Because life is not about what you have, but what you make out of what you have.
for a cause, but real life's got him, and now he's getting
The magic of editing, take anything out needs to be taken out.
Correct.
All set? Okay.
bored. He barely makes a living picking.
It goes past really quickly, but just I've enjoyed myself a lot this year, and just the enjoyment of being a student and being an RA is my favourite part of the role.
And out the style